Merry Christmas, YouTube. We're now calling this a Christmas special. Welcome back to part 3 of Poinsettia Care Christmas special. It meant to be a 1 to 2 part series, but we're doing this third one as a bonus on propagating poinsettias because I have a cutting that has come off, and I thought I might as well try to make a cutting with you guys and see how it turns out. So if you missed part 1, we have part 1, which is holiday care for poinsettias. Just your sort of basics on how you keep this guy alive and how you make him survive the holiday season. Just like us, it takes a lot to survive the holidays. So there are some good care tips there for care and culture of the holiday season. And then we went into part 2. Part 2 is how do you keep it alive for the rest of the year until we can return to the holiday season again, and then what do you do with it in preparation for the holiday season to get these wonderful bracts back. So if you missed part 1 and 2, check out those videos. I will try to put a link in the description for them. If I don't, I'm bad at that. It's just the previous video before this, so just look on my channel and do a channel search for poinsettias and you'll find all 3 anyways. Maybe we'll put them in a playlist for you as well. So what we're going to do today though is this poor little guy here. He broke off just when I guess we were unpacking it or as we were coming home with it. So it has broken off freshly today and it's starting to wilt, so I want to do something with it quickly before anything too bad happens. So I'm going to show you how to prep this. Now the ideal time to do poinsettia cuttings is going to be in the fall, right before you start inducing the blooms on them, and we touch base that a little bit more in part 2 of the video. So this video is going to be how do we prepare this and make a cutting out of it and get it to grow again. So why don't I bring the camera down and we're going to do this together here on the table. I have some things set out for us and we will propagate poinsettias together. Come on down. Okay, so here we go. As you can see, I have just a plain old potting soil. It's got a little bit of perlite. I'm sure it's got a little bit of peat moss, and it's just a nice organic soil there. Not important to what soil you use. The idea is to have it nice and airy. So being I have lots of orchid bark around, I'm going to add a little bit of orchid bark to the mix just to make it a little bit more airy. This is not completely necessary, but it does help along the way to keep everything from packing in too much, especially as the roots are forming. So there is a good mix here, and I have prepared a little pot for us. It's hidden back here. You can see this poinsettia here is very nice. So that one we're working just above, and then we're going to go back to this guy here and we'll fill this up. This is going to be a fairly short and sweet video. So as I said, the ideal time to be doing this is in the fall while you're inducing bracts on it, or just before. I'm only doing this now at Christmas time because this piece, if I don't do it, is a goner. So I thought, well, we might as well give it a try. In a perfect world, you would use something that doesn't already have a bract on it. So I think what I'm going to do is cut the bract back off so it has to grow out some side shoots and hopefully become a bushy little plant before or as it gets growing. So let's see if I have enough space here on this tiny little table. I'm going to use this piece of paper here because I just brought it out and it is nice and sterile. I have got a brand new razor blade. Make sure you don't cut yourself with these guys. And I just want to cut the tip off there. This little broken piece here that we can see is not going to grow roots very good at all. So I want to give it a little bit of freshness there. I'm also going to cut off the bottom leaves. Now, I would assume that the roots are going to come out of the nodes here and out of the bottom of the plant. This is not something I've done before. Just to be honest, we're trying this together. I do know how it's done, it's just not something that I've done. You can also see by cutting this sap there, it is quite an irritant, although not super dangerous, but camera's not really wanting to focus on it much. But there's the sap, so you can see it bleeding out. So we want to avoid the sap if we possibly can. Now I am also going to cut off the bract up here, and believe it or not, this thing is only been off the plant for half an hour at the most. So I'm going to cut off this bract. I know that's sad, but it's going to go as well. and then I am going to leave some of the leaves on here. And I think I'm going to take off 2 more leaves. One there and one there. And that way we are leaving, it's a good size piece. It's probably 6 inches long, and I got 2, 4, 6 leaves on it. The next thing I want to do is, if you have some root stimulant, make sure you use it at this point. If you don't have it, it does work without it, but it's just going to work much better with it. And so I'm going to give it a dip in there as much as I possibly can and bring it back out. Tap it off, we don't need the excess. And yes, folks, it's going to be just this easy. There we go. I am going to shove it directly in here. Nice and deep. This was why we took we used the whole cutting anyways. So hopefully it's going to grow roots all the way along the stalk that's under the ground there. So then the next thing I am going to do is take this over to the sink and give it a good watering. But that's what it looks like now. The sap is going to bleed for a little bit, and it's nothing to worry about. If you have a paper towel, you could dab it off. Try not to get the drips on you. Do not get the drips in your eyes. So you want to wash good afterwards anyways. But yeah, that is my word of warning. Don't get the drips in your eyes. So I'm going to give this a quick drink of water, and I'll be right back. Okay, you guys didn't even notice I was gone, but I was gone, and I'm going to clean this up real quick first, get this out of here, and bring back the freshly watered poinsettia. So there we go, it's back. And the one final step for this guy is, if you have a greenhouse, you can probably keep it just as it is. If you don't have a greenhouse, what I would recommend doing is bagging it up. You don't want to just leave this out on your windowsill like this. It does not have any roots. It needs to hold all the moisture it can. So if you can hear a bag in the background, that's because you are right. I do have a bag, and I am recycling the bag that I got with these plants. If you watched the other videos, you saw that the first thing I did was take this plant out of this plastic sleeve. This was a sleeve that it came in. So I did find a use for it after all, and I'm going to bag it up like this. And let's see, I just need to find myself a little orchid clip, and then I will be good to go. Here's one right here in reach. And just above you, I'm going to use one of these little clips and clip the bag closed. And then we're going to just keep it in this little greenhouse here, this mini greenhouse. And that way it's safe to put in your house, in your living room or whatever, and it's not going to have really dry air affecting it. Now this guy should root in about 30 days, so hopefully that is true. There he is in the bag there. This little bag is perfect because it does have a few air holes, but it's enough to keep it nice and humid. And yeah, we're recycling that bag as well. Saves me throwing it in the garbage just yet. We might as well have another purpose for it. And then hopefully in a few months' time, I would expect that these leaves are going to drop off and start to grow its own new leaves on little side shoots. And then hopefully by this time next year, it will look like this beauty right here. So that is going to be it for propagating poinsettias. Now we're going to do this together, so hopefully it works. I can't see why it wouldn't work. They propagate very easily through cuttings. As I've said in the other videos, that these are all actually just cuttings anyways, and these are not seed grown plants. These are just done by cuttings. So anyways, I hope you liked this video series. I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas. If I don't see you before Christmas, I will definitely see you just after Christmas, and we will go from there. All right, guys, happy holidays. Bye for now.